What's the state of your website? If you're looking for a new digital experience platform, or DXP, to run your digital experiences, I have the book for you. The Agile Brand Guide to Digital Experience Platforms is part of my best-selling series of MarTech books. In this book, I explore and demystify DXPs and look at the roles a digital experience platform should play, the different types on the market, as well as how to initially evaluate platforms, then how to best implement a DXP once you've selected it. The book also features a foreword from Rupali Jain, Chief Product Officer at leading DXP provider Optimizely, as well as several other thought leaders in the industry. Learn more and get a copy in print or digital now by going to the Agile Brand Guide website at www.agilebrandguide.com.
Hi, this is Greg. Look for my book, The Agile Brand, on Amazon or on my website at theagile.world. Welcome back to The Agile World. This is Greg Kihlstrom. In the last episode, I started talking about the evolution of brands over time. I look at this in 4 stages. The first is brand as object that I talked about in the last episode. This episode, I'm going to talk about brand as idea, which is followed by brand as experience, and then finally, the most current evolution, brand as relationship. Today, I'm going to talk about brand as idea. In the last stage, before brand as idea, which I refer to as brand as object, it was enough to differentiate yourself with a name or a different logo. There wasn't as much variety. There wasn't as much opportunity for consumers to choose. So it was enough to simply, be different, be recognized. That's where things like broadcast advertising come into play, where, if you hit people enough with a message, they will recognize your product and then they'll choose yours over the small selection available. But as brands increased, as the number of brands and products increased, there became more and more logos and names to keep track of. It became harder and harder for someone to remember or recognize a single brand and why they should choose it. So instead, brands needed to find a way to get further inside their consumers' heads. So I refer to this idea as brand as idea. So how do we go beyond simple recognition to having consumers actually understand the problem that product or company or service provides? Some successful examples of this are things like Kleenex or more recently Google. So Kleenex is a shortcut for a tissue. Google is something that you do. It's a verb. You search for things online, you Google it. Google beat out Bing and Excite and Lycos and many other competitors in that space. They were able to get inside their consumers' heads and say, when I perform an action, when I look for something online, I'm Googling it. How powerful is that your name becomes synonymous with what your company offers? There's an interesting quote from Seth Godin about this topic. He says, "A brand is not a logo. It's not what it looks like when I look at your product. A brand is a shortcut. It's a shortcut for all the expectations I have for what you're about to do for me." That really doubles down on this concept of brand as idea. It's when I look at something, when I look at a logo, I know the problem that they're going to solve. It's not just I'm looking for a restaurant because I'm hungry, but I know exactly the expectation that I'm going to have. When I'm driving down the road and I see the McDonald's arches, I know if I like McDonald's, I know what I'm going to expect. I know what I'm going to be able to get there. I know the price point. I know the experience that I'm going to have. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about the next evolution of branding, and I refer to that as brand as experience. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please rate the show on iTunes or contact me through my website at theagile.world. You can find my books, The Agile Brand and The Agile Web, on Amazon and on my website at theagile.world.